Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Please continue to pray for me. You can pray to the God of dislikes by disliking this video and also by singing along and gesturing at your screens. So it is December of 2024, and I had a roller coaster of a year. When I first moved to Phoenix, I had a hard time making connections. The truth is that I missed out. I missed out on a lot of potential connections because I was dealing with a lot. My first job that I took in the Phoenix area, I ran into toxicity. And then when I started what became my dream job, I was uncertain about myself, and I gave myself way too much pressure. Not only at that one job, but I took on so much other stuff to hedge against uncertainty there. Actually, my uh, at the college, my boss recently retired, and I was at her retirement party, and she had really good things to say to me. So I took it way too heavily, and as a result of all that, I missed out. I was just looking back, and I missed out. I had to use two hands to count all the girls that I had a good chance of asking out on a date that I didn't because I was so lost with the one toxic job and another job that I thought was going to become toxic, which never would have been. And I needed two hands to count. It just all came flooding back to me. I could have done that, and but I didn't at the time because I lost. And one thing I really Peter dislike is how big the world is. What do I mean by that? Well, I live in the Phoenix area, and it's impossible to take two jobs and not have them be scattered around the city, right? Anytime you get in your car, you can count on going at least half an hour in that car. And also, if you see an opportunity in Idaho, in Utah, in New York, it's so hard not to leave all your connections behind. As few connections as I do have here, I hate to give that up too, right? Someday when everybody has a spaceship in their garage and you can go anywhere on Earth in like 2 seconds, I would have feel so at the same cost as it now takes to drive a car across the city. I will feel so good because I'll look at so many opportunities elsewhere, and I won't have to worry about leaving anything behind, right? Of course, if everybody could do that, it might neutralize all the benefits of it, right? Who knows, right? But I'm kind of in a jam right now because next semester I'm going to be teaching at two different campuses, 40 minutes apart. And I uh I really Peter dislike the facilities in one of the campuses. Their kitchenette's been being remodeled. There's nowhere to sit down and eat. Their cell phone signal is always tricky there, and it just has a very depressing vibe. The whole building just has a very depressing vibe to it. Uh, it's not the worst building I've ever worked in. I've had buildings that made me outright sick. I have chemical sensitivities, but it kind of feels like that. This is a mental form of chemical sensitivity, right? You constantly have barriers of getting your work done, right? Oh, and it just makes it's just gross in my opinion. There's nothing more gross than sitting down to eat and having nowhere to wash your stuff, right? You have to go to the bathroom, right? There's nothing more gross than that. It just puts a damper on the entire day. I'm gonna have to think hard about two things. One, about how to eat without having to wash anything, and number two, how to protest the whole situation. I'm angry now. It's really maddening. I already tried to protest last semester to no avail. I think I just caused a lot more trouble than it was worth. Uh, but I'm upset because anything that interferes with my eating riles me up. I'm a recovering binge eater, and things like that. People don't realize how much of a barrier it is. Right? It is the equivalent. Imagine having barriers to where you could eat when you're an eataholic is the equivalent of the school tempting alcoholics, right, or former alcoholics with alcohol, right? Imagine you go uh, to the campus and there's alcohol everywhere, right? And you're a recovering alcoholic. It's just it would be a huge barrier to work there, right? But that's me. Uh, as a recovering eataholic, I'm often being tempted with toxic food environments or people offering me food. I'm often when I finally need to eat what I need to eat, that there's a barrier of some sort, right? And and then we have really bad. You guys have seen me record videos in the adjunct office. It's a glass office. I can't get a cell phone signal in there for some reason. If my phone's in there, somebody tries to call me, it won't ring. I can't call out. I don't know what the building materials are made of, but it makes me it makes me almost want to take a hammer to all the glass in that office. Right, it's a glass uh, wall, and but I have to leave my phone outside just in case the phone's gonna ring. Now here's something else tricky. The phone rings, I answer it. Sometimes depending on what the call was about, I need to see something on my computer. Oh, I got to go run back to my computer, and if I forget and take my phone in there to get it, the phone shuts off. And I know it sounds very trivial, but little things like that put a huge barrier to you trying to do what you need to do throughout the day, right? It's a barrier. If you have your mind's being cluttered with where do I put my cell phone, where do I eat, and whether or not I can have a parking space when I get to the campus. Those things might seem like trivial things, but they're like little pieces of clutter, right? It's kind of like if you throw one piece of clutter in that direction in your bedroom, another one in that direction. Soon enough, you'll be too embarrassed to invite your girlfriend over, right? It feels like that, right? Um, and it's very upsetting because I have an otherwise dream job, right? And right now I have an otherwise dream relationship with my girlfriend, but she lives kind of far, right, in terms of distance within Phoenix, right? And then I look at another job in a city where I might like the situation better, right? So, for example, I've been looking at jobs in Wallace, Idaho, and I might like the climate there better and all the rest, right? It's the cost of living is less, but I don't want to give up my dream jobs. I don't want to get so that's just it just makes you want to die, right? Like I said, I life will be so when I have when everybody in the world has a spaceship in their garage and they can go anywhere from point A to point B in less than half an hour. I just think that would be so wonderful. Your opportunities would your job opportunities, your dating prospects, all of that would open hugely, right? I wonder what life would be like. Leave a comment if you would like that. Uh, I don't know if I could go from A to B. Let's do it this way. Let's imagine you can go from A to B in a spaceship that costs about as much as a car to the car costs today. And you could press a button, get there in half an hour, and each trip might cost you, let's just say, the equivalent of a gallon of gas. Well, what would I do differently? Well, I might spend my time hanging in other cities, like after work. I don't think I would just stick in Phoenix, Arizona. I might go to Taiwan every day or Eastern Europe, right? And I might just for fun. Let's go to meetup.com and see what's going on in let's say see meetup.com. Can we change the city to foreign? Let's let's do Warsaw. Oh, we can. S- Yep, and they have a board game meetup. See, how many people are there? 18 attendees. And where is this? Perfect. The groups are not going to be all that big. I'd say the demographics are a lot younger too. Although you got to remember, part of the reason why the demographics of the meetup groups there are so much younger is that up until recently, the life expectancy of Poland wasn't that great, right? So it's a mixed bag, whether or not that's a good thing or not. Uh, so yeah, but unfortunately, I don't want to. I don't even like taking a vacation to a foreign country these days because I don't want to miss out on a chance to network here in the United States. But if we all had a spaceship that could go from A to B on Earth in like half an hour, that might be a different story, right? So pray that that day comes soon enough, right? Uh, what else I wanted to say? Pray that, please pray hard that CAC somehow comes up with $1 billion to fix up their facility, right? Uh, pray hard, pray hard. I've been praying for them a lot as of late because the facilities just suck so bad. I mean, they don't suck, but they create a huge working barrier, right? I mean, it's just distracting. But then again, I had another workplace years ago that outright made me sick. So this kind of has that vibe to it again, except it's not physically making me sick. All right, so please continue to pray for me by leaving a dislike on this video. I might think about taking a trip to now that I see all these great meetup groups in Poland, I might take a trip there. But the problem is that I might meet somebody there and I can't take them home with me. So that's a big one, right? I don't want to just meet somebody and never see them again. I could do that here in the United States. I could do that here in Phoenix all the time, right? I never get to see anybody that I meet at a meetup because people are so closed off here, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Uh, 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 the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.